Hi, welcome to Restrocast. Today my guest is Saer Imad, Group GM, Almed Retail. Saer today is building a restaurant business in Almed Retail for last 7 years from scratch. Brands like JJ Chicken, Derwendi, and few good brands franchised internationally. But Saer's passion, from what I learned in the conversation, comes from working with entrepreneurs. Somebody who started his career in banking, providing loans to small businesses, to working at a private equity or rather a VC fund and helping those entrepreneurs with venture capital, to moving to the side where he became an operator and started his own journey of building 0 to 1. His passion for restaurants, comes from his experience with other entrepreneurs who, as a private equity or a venture capital person, he helped and he saw them growing. He also helped them, worked with them in trenches, but still missed that, actual operator role. Today, he's building these brands into franchisable formats, and somebody who is now ready to explore international waters in various markets as wild and diverse as India, Saudi Arabia, and UK. Saer's perspective in life is quite balanced and yet refreshing. I enjoyed this conversation. I'm sure you will. Welcome to Restrocast. Saer, welcome to Restrocast.
Thank you for having me here.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure and an honor to be having this discussion with you, Prachi.
Thank you. Thank you for accepting this. Saer, you've been in Dubai and the industry for a very, very long time. I saw your, career. You've quite a rich, career, if I may say. There's a lot that I have a lot of questions on, literally, each junction. But I would like to start with, where it all started for you. So if you can touch upon, where did you grow up, early years, and, and your education?
Yeah. We came from a different part of the world, but we're ending up in Dubai, actually. So I'm originally from Lebanon. So I studied there. I worked there, actually. I started my career as a banker in the corporate credit. Then I went to open the bank in Africa, Nigeria actually. So we had a lot of clients there. And then quickly I shifted to the finance department. I came to Dubai in 2003. This is the first time I came here. I work mainly in helping, supporting and nurturing entrepreneur and SMEs through a government agency called Mohammed Bin Rashid Established for Young Business Leaders.
That was back in 2003.
Yeah, that was the YC. So we were supporting we were sector agnostic, so we were supporting all businesses, F&B industry, industrial, retail, whatever.
And what do you mean by supporting?
So supporting by giving them financial support, by giving them economical support, commercial support, all types of support. So these entrepreneurs come to us, we help them to develop their business plan, their feasibility studies, work on their budget and cash flows, and then work on the commercial part and the operational part. So we were giving them all this kind of support and helping them and assisting them until they are successful and they grow. So some of them, for example, they moved into franchising. Some of them, they went into growing and diversifying into different sectors. So this was this part. So I continue with this.
So this was not just like a SME loan?
No. It was hands-on, and this is why I got to know more and more about the F&B industry. So I started at that part, but I was on the other side of the
So you were helping them sharpen their business plan?
Everything. Shop, helping them to rent the right place, do for them location analysis. Will they get customers here? Is fit? What are the type of customers they want to inquire at? All these details. And then even going with them through their menu, what kind of food they want to go, having a big or small menu, So
That
all
sounds
these.
like but you know,
So
what was your training to do this? Like how did you even get to the point?
exactly. So we started because entrepreneurship was new to the region. So we had a lot of training in the US. So we were into a lot with a lot of exchange programs with the US that having these kind of businesses or these kind of programs because it was new to the region. And this is how we started. Then we start to get a lot of pioneers in this sector to help these people and assist them, kind of a mentorship program, so to give them the best practice in the market. But we were operating their businesses, but we were not owning the business.
Sure.
So there is always this slight difference where the KPIs and the performance will always be the responsibility of the owner, of the entrepreneur.
Correct.
But you are kind of an advisor, and it makes a lot of difference. So we continued doing this. I continued doing this business. I moved to Abu Dhabi, same Khalifa fund. They have a bigger fund, it was 3 billion dirham at that time. And they were focusing mainly on F&B also. So this is also, we get a lot of exposure until I shifted to Almed. So we shifted to Almed, and this is where my full focus on F&B started.
Almed is where you are today.
Exactly, where we are today, where we wanted to have, it's a kind of a boutique F&B operator where we own, operate, and manage different brands. And this is where I was in the other part of the game now. So I'm responsible of the performance, of the achievements, of the KPI. So
But why did you take that jump?
I take this jump because I want to be more focused. I like the industry, so I wanted to experience it from a different perspective. Because there was always something that lacks. So you give advice, you know what it should be done, but it's not done.
Before we dive into that, so at Khalifa Fund, you said, for how many years were you investing the part of that 3 billion?
For 5 years and a half.
5 years and a half. And what part of your investment or portfolio was F&B?
About 40 to 50%.
Oh, wow, that's a big one.
Yes, because at that time, the F&B, it becomes the trend. So all the entrepreneurs thought that it's an easy industry or it's a quick money. Or
They still do.
It's a cash. They still do, actually. Yes, you're totally right. And they still do, unfortunately.
No, I'm a product of that.
Okay.
13 years back, I was running a telecom company, a tech company in India.
Interesting.
And, one day, a random conversation with a friend who was continuously exploring a KFC franchise or a Subway franchise. He used to keep reading these prospectus documents. He used to keep discussing with me. And I said, why don't you open your own brand? How hard it can be? And he said, will you invest? I said, of course, this is my idea. How can I say no to my own idea? Let's do that. And I jumped into it head first and got screwed so bad. It was not only a financial loss. It was an ego loss.
Of course.
I mean, it was like, oh, wow. I thought that I was so smart. And like entering a restaurant was like, you're not. Everybody was ready to take you for a ride. So, yeah, it's a trap.
It has a lot of details that you don't see it until you are into it. And at that time, people want the cash business. So what happened that a lot of people, even not in the F&B industry, wanted to jump into this sector because here, mainly, the main money was coming from the contracting business. And then suddenly contracting slowed down. And when you go into the contracting, most of the money is stuck somewhere until you receive it.
Yeah.
So they wanted this cash business. And F&B is the best out of it, where we can get your cash. So everybody started going to this industry and becoming very popular and becoming very famous. So that's why 50% of our portfolio was going towards these F&B concepts. And at that time, there was a lot of trends. So now is the trend of shawarma, or the trends of burger, or the trends of pizza. So you can see all the concepts are going to the same product, for example. And they become more specialized. So before, if you look to the F&B industry here, especially in UAE, it went into different stages. So before, you don't see a specialized restaurant where it offers a single product. So it used to be a whole big menu where it has a variety of everything. Then this trend started that, oh no, let's focus on shawarma, let's focus on burger, let's focus on brisket. And this is how the trend started. And now it continues actually.
So at Khalifa, what was your, when you say that you were investing a part of this 3 billion dirham corpus, were you investing in the restaurant?
Yes, investment business.
Investing in
So the entrepreneur, you know,
like a private equity?
yeah, kind of a VC, not private equity, because you know, being an entrepreneur coming, there is no bank is willing to give you money. So because you're high risk, it's a new business, could succeed, could not. So
Higher chances that it will not.
yeah, so exactly. So usually in the States, for example, 9 out of 10 they fail, startups. Here it is a little bit more because we give them a lot of support, we open up for them a lot of doors. So the success rate was 6 out of 10, for example.
Wow.
Exactly. So we used to give them loans with very low interest. We take the full risk, and we give them they used to have to contribute about 10 to 20% of the total investment required. So a restaurant that costs 5 million, they have to come up with at least 1 million, and we put 4 million. And we manage the disbursement of the fund and how it has to be dispersed, buying equipment that much, rent, kitchen equipment, all these kind of things, and move ahead employees, what type of workers do you need to have, their org structure. So we enter into all the details, but as I told you before, it also missed the point that we kind of advisor, mentor, but not hands on the operation, and we don't take decision, because if you take a decision, then you are responsible for the loss and the profit.
Sure.
So they have to take decision. I give you the advice, they have to take decision. And this was part of the problem maybe. So then when I shift to Almed, I am in the decision-making seat. So I have to put the plan and I have to execute the plan.
How different
It
turned out to be from your perception.
Huge difference. A huge difference, because we always thought that we're giving the right advice and should be enough to make it a success, which is not. The variables in the market, it's so much that it overrule all these kind of things.
Did you, I mean, when you came to, and we'll dive into this deeper, when you came to Almed and you became the person responsible to execute directly now, did you look back and saw some of your advice that was not cool?
Yeah, of course. Definitely. And the opposite. So one time I'll tell you this story. This is one of the lessons I learned in my life. So one time there was a lady that came to us. She was not well educated. She was divorced, had 4 kids, and she wants to do any business. She wanted to do henna. So I said,
Sorry?
She wants to do the henna, the tattoo.
Okay, yeah.
So I said, this business will never make a profit. So she keep insisting. He just wanted 250,000 dirham. She just wanted to make a tent in the hotels and do for the tourists. He said, please, in every corner there is a beauty salon who does that henna. Yani why they will come to you? What's different? But actually, this lady, at some point of time, she had 60 locations. She franchised the business to different countries, and she was making a net profit of approximately 500,000 dirham per month. What she did, we always talk about innovation, but what she did is she didn't create something new about the henna, but she repositioned the henna, that I'm offering a temporary tattoo of over 2 weeks for tourist people who are willing to spend and pay double the amount that normal people pay in the beauty salon, because they are coming for fun. They don't mind to pay, instead of 50, 100 dirham for tattoo. It's something traditional, nice. And that's why she was successful.
Wow.
So I learned a huge lesson from it, that innovation doesn't necessarily it has to come from something totally new, creating totally new product. No, innovation can be by positioning the same service or product to a different type of customers in a different location.
You know, this in 90s, I grew up in India in 90s, and I don't know if you've heard of these. I don't know if these were global or not. It used to be called tele brands, like the TV shopping.
Yes.
And I remember that, I was growing up, I think, 8 years or 9 years. So this ad came on tele shopping, during the lunchtime. We just came back from school and, having lunch and watching these daily soaps. And that ad said, it was a device called Clear Tone. And it basically said you put it here and then you adjust the volume from here. And now these guys were showing what all this can do. So it basically showed a scene where a dad is watching, a game, and a kid is studying, and the kid is, really getting, pissed. So, dad, what he did is now he just put the volume of the TV to the lowest, increase the volume, of the device here, and everybody's happy. Then it also said if you increase the sensitivity of the device, you can also listen over here, eavesdrop, on conversations of others. And it gave random 20 very cool use cases. As a kid, I was tempted to buy that. Of course, my mom didn't allow, but it stayed with me. I never realized what that machine was until I came to college. And my then girlfriend and my wife, her family is in hearing aids business.
Oh.
And I had never seen a hearing aid before. And I mean, because after that, being a kid, I never saw that device again. So it never occurred to me. I remember one day, she brought a hearing aid. And I was like, clear tone. And I was like, oh shit. So basically, somebody thought that I am going to sell hearing aid to people who don't have a hearing loss by telling them, how can you manipulate this? Somebody reimagined the same product.
Exactly.
And those guys, I'm not kidding, sold 100,000 pieces.
Wow.
In India, a hearing loss product for people who can hear.
Wow.
So this repositioning is possible.
Exactly. So when I came to Almed, I had a mission to create a company with different brands. So we have different options. Either we have to buy ready-made brands and grow it, or to come up with totally new brand that we own. So this was the mix, and that's what really happened. So we acquired a small business that exists here, and we worked on the development of everything.
What was it called?
JJ Chicken. Okay. So this was the start. We bought out, we acquired 100% share of JJ Chicken. We worked on development. We changed the menu. We did rebranding, the logo.
So it was an. Can you talk about JJ Chicken? Like, was it an existing brand?
Yeah, it was an existing brand. It was an existing brand with 2 shops. A small entrepreneur started the business, and he doesn't know what to do about it. After this, he has either to inject a lot of money that doesn't have, or he has to sell it. So he has these options. So we took over the business. We did complete rebranding with complete redevelopment of the brand. We opened about 10 shops in 2 years' time. Transferred the business into a totally franchising model. Signed an agreement with Franchise India or Frank Global India to develop the business in India. Participated in a few exhibitions there.
Oh, you guys are in India as well?
Yeah. We had a deal on the table, and then COVID hit and
got it.
changed everything. But we had a complete franchising model of the business. And then we started developing the business because it was only chicken. Then we said, okay, we need to cater to the market. We need to adapt to the market. So we said, let's have an Indian range, for example, because most of the communities here are Indian. Then we said, we have to do and add some meat products, because no matter how much you like and you love chicken, you will not eat chicken every day. So if you think of eating meat, for example, immediately the option of chicken will be out of your mind.
Correct.
So why I want to lose these type of customers? So that's why we added meat, and we did some testing and stuff like that.
But the brand is still called JJ Chicken.
Yes. Because 90% of 95% maybe of the menu is chicken, but there is 5 to 10%, which is
small part.
And then we acquired another franchise from Paris. It's called Andy Moncha Paris. So Andy Moncha Paris is casual to fine dining. The business exists in Paris Saint-Germain. It's nice. They have very nice pastry. The food is very chic, elegant. We developed the business.
From Paris.
Yeah, so we opened also 2 shops, one in Blue Water, the Dubai, next to Dubai Eye,
yeah.
Another one in Dubai Hills. Also,
Nice.
it is totally different because JJ Chicken is a fast casual concept. Here we shifted into the casual to fine dining. So it's a different customer expectation, different type of food, different capex if you want. Yani even the shop of and Dimash Paris something 500, 700 square meter, while a shop at JJ could be 60, 200 square meter. So a totally different dynamics, totally different game, and totally different customer base because your average ticket is different. And then we said that now it's time to create our own brand. So we went and created our own brand. It's called Derwendi. It's pure Lebanese restaurant. So it took a lot of time because we worked on the logo, on the menu, on the recipes, on the look and feel of the shop, interior, cutleries, tableware, you just name it. So this took a lot of time with us. So we opened our first branch in Abu Dhabi, and our second branch is in Dubai, opening hopefully next month. Then we acquired another business that was doing well in called Solidaire. It's a Mediterranean concept, and we are now having these four businesses, each one in a different sector, different cuisine, and catering different customer base. But you learn a lot of experience because each one is different. So the marketing that you do for Endemol Shapari is definitely than what you do for JJ.
Correct.
So this is what enriched my experience, to be frank with you. And when it comes to decision making in this complexity of the market, it makes a lot of sense. Then COVID came. It was.
Oh, you had done all these brands before
There went
COVID?
JJ before and Demosha Paris before, Solidaire before. Derwendi was after COVID. So 3 brands before and 1 after. But COVID changed everything. So people sitting at home, you're not allowed to go to street. You are forced to order online.
Yep.
And this was the killer of the market. So then aggregators like Deliveroo and Talabat took great advantage of this scenario, and people get used, unfortunately. So people started first saying not to use your app. Why I will want to have 20, 30 apps on my mobile?
Correct.
Just 2 apps and enough. That will be it. So then apps went out. Then because everybody get used to these aggregators, start charging a lot of commission, which start taking from your profitability, unfortunately. At the same time, the market, because of cloud and dark kitchen, came to the picture. So a lot of people wake up in the morning, okay, I don't have anything to do, I have 100,000 dirham, yalla, let's do a chicken concept, a burger concept.
But you know what? I mean, hasn't a lot of those, that expansion into cloud kitchen where everybody on the street was having an idea and having a brand, right? Hasn't that already gone? Like I think that market has gone corrected.
Actually, what's happening? These businesses, their lifespan is 6 months to 1 year only.
Correct.
But unfortunately, you have 10 dying and 10 living, 10 coming and 10 in, out.
They keep spoiling the market.
There is a lot of people keep trying their luck. Then what happened that this has created a huge competition, which start eating from your market share. Then existing brands like us having shops start looking that they need to maximize their efficiency, especially production efficiency. So they said, why leaving and keeping these people trying new brands in dark kitchen? Let me try myself a dark kitchen. So a lot of brands existing brands with physical shops, brick and mortar, start launching their own brands, as a dark brand. So from their own kitchen. So I have JJ Chicken, for example. Okay, you come and see. But at the back side, I'm having 3 other brands called XYZ. So this, because you need to be innovative and you need to adapt to the change what's happening and not keep fighting competition with just playing the same game.
Correct.
It won't happen. So this also fueled the competition further and further. So,
but Saer, as a as somebody who built this business, and it's been 7 years at Almed, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So you've been on all the three sides, from on the bank side, which was developing and giving debt, to equity side, investing, taking that bet, supporting them, and then being,
On the
if I can
execution.
say, an entrepreneur in residence, for Almed, Almed Retail. I think. What do you think that you have learned today from a KPIs perspective? What are some of the things that today, that okay, these KPIs, these metrics mean the business is doing great, and these metrics mean it's not doing great, no matter what subjective explanation of that is. How do you value restaurant business today, and what KPIs? What restaurant business you will say, this is not going to work?
There was a very common mistake most of the entrepreneurs falls in, that they use not to differentiate between P&L and the cash flow. And that's a major problem. You could be profitable, but you don't have enough cash to pay your bills. So this was a major problem people face. But one of the major KPIs in the F&B industry, especially restaurant, one is your cost of goods. That's a very important. So if you're not managing this pretty well, regardless what you will do, you will never make money. So for me, 3 KPIs are very important: your cost of goods, your salaries, your employees' cost, and your rent. Especially here in Dubai, because rent could be a make it or break it. It is because the rents here are very expensive. So this could take a lot of chunk of your profits.
What's your in your formula? What is the percentage of rent? What rent should form what percentage of the revenue of a store at a store level?
In Dubai, the rent should be between 15 to 18%.
Oh, that's high.
In Dubai. I started my sentence in Dubai because this is the trend. Staff, like 20%. When you say staff, that's C2C. I mean, cost to company, because here it's not only the salary. It is the salary, it is the residency, the legal documents and papers that you pay to the government, it's the air ticket to home country, it is the medical insurance that you pay, it's the end of service indemnity, it's all this cost embedded under staff. So it's
20%.
So it's not only salary. So when we say employee cost, it's all these costs together.
So is it safe to say that, like, of 20%, 10% is the actual salary to the employee and 10% is rest of the, like, what's the share of?
No, it is like 15% is the actual cost, and about 5. You add always 20 to 25% on your salary. So your salary is 10,000, your cost will be about 2,500.
Got it. So 20% should be salary, rent should be 15 to 18, and what should be the cost of goods?
Maximum 30%. Maximum.
What's a good cost? 15?
15 you will never make it.
15?
Yeah, it's difficult. No, not now, not in Dubai.
So the spectrum is 20 to 30?
No. A good one that you're doing well, it will be something in the range of 22, 23, 24. So 22 to 24% is an achievable target and a healthy one.
So what you're saying is that, every percentage point between 22 and 30 is going to be make and break.
Yes, it's taking from your bottom line. It's taking from your EBITDA profit.
How many restaurateurs and I'm in this business, I see this every day. Cost of goods, as you said, is a very underrated KPI, though it shouldn't be. Theoretically, it
should be the most important.
Theoretically, people understand as well, but most of the restaurants that I meet, rarely I meet people who have like absolute understanding of their COGS all the time.
I believe I have a competitive advantage here because I come from a finance background. So you look more into numbers and don't look only to operation. The problem is the cost of goods sold, and this is the problem across all restaurants, people who works in the restaurant, that they miscalculate this cost of goods sold. That's the problem.
How?
So either they have a problem with the recipe and the ingredients is not calculated properly, or they miss something between the whole value or between the whole supply chain and the production. So from when it started from supplier to the end product. So there is a lot. They miss the yield, for example. So you bring, I don't know, 100 kg of something. This will never give you 100 kg. So there is also a certain yield, and this should be tracked over a period of time to check how much is the average. So all this will give you a miscalculation of the cost of goods sold. So you think that you are doing well, but then you are not. And that's why you see most, if not all, the restaurants have a variance between something called theoretical cost and the actual cost.
Correct.
So my theoretical cost is 23%, but I'm paying, which is equivalent to 28%. So this 5% is going somewhere.
And this 5% is actually was supposed to be your margin.
It's supposed to be a part of your profit. So this is the problem people are facing now.
So as a, and what were the areas where you feel that if you had not had investing experience, or even after having that investing experience, building a business, building a brand, building a new concept, running it in the market is still tough. It doesn't matter what you know.
Definitely.
So what do you still feel are challenges that you face every day in your life as somebody who is responsible for building these brands, even after knowing what all you know?
No, there is always challenges. Yani. Today, one of the most challenges we are facing is inflation, for example.
No, I'll say the challenge that you have. I mean, I'm talking about your own challenge. Like what is still in your mind is like, oh man, it's still a battle and I'm not very sure about the answers here.
Sure, a challenge that I will always face managing an F&B business is just how you will be able always to maintain consistency of your product and have this offer to your customers. This is something very difficult because regardless you will always have this problem. For me, I believe I will not be able to get a solution for it because consistency is very important in the type of restaurants that we have because it's not like McDonald's, for example, you have everything ready made and stuff like that.
Correct.
So for example, take JJ Chicken, we do chicken on charcoal. So how difficult it is to control charcoal and have it well cooked, half cooked, all the charcoal is. So the consistency in these kind of products that we offer is very difficult. Consistency even of the raw material that we receive, especially in the previous couple of years and during the COVID and after COVID. So all this is creating a problem in enabling us to have this kind of this consistency in the product. So this is a major challenge. Second one is that we always keep facing is that how to keep your employees and your staff on the ground, people especially in the kitchen, motivated. And this is something very difficult. And maybe people who are in the front of house, it'll be easier for them to help them get motivated. As people who are in the back of house, they are not with interaction with people, they are always in a closed environment. So these people are very important to your operation and you need to keep them always motivated.
When you say it's a challenge to keep them motivated, what's going on in your head? Is it retention or is it just general well-being?
Both, especially in a market such like in Dubai.
But how do you, like somebody, and I'm just being...
So you don't want only to retain them because they can be there, but not at the same level of enthusiasm and motivation. You need to give what you need them to give.
But I'll be a little bit of a, I don't know, devil's advocate or pragmatic. I'll pick pragmatic. Somebody who chose to work in the kitchen. Right? So don't you think they should find their own motivation anyway?
They should, but you don't have to forget the environment they live where. So take, for example, because we have a great experience in UAE. Let's talk about UAE. Because there is a lot of restaurants opening every day.
Correct.
The pace is fast. So people wants to be, they will always look for better. Well, that's something very normal. But they will be tempted with the situation that is there. So they can get a better salary, for example. They can get a better position. So they are always moving with this fast pace. And you cannot keep having people coming and going.
So retention is definitely at the center of it,
definitely.
right? Now, what do you do for retention?
Hala, we try to besides the financial part, because at a certain point you reach a ceiling when it comes
Correct.
to the financial part. So you cannot always come.
And also everybody's paying salary, so there's nothing different.
Yeah, so paying salary, that's taken for granted. So we work with the tips, we work with the bonus scheme, we work with these kind of things. But also, at some point of time, it reached to a certain point where khalas, you cannot financially keep giving. So we're trying always to be close to them, give them training most of the time. If they have any problem, even if it's personal, try to solve it. Being flexible. So these kind of things, especially that most of these people are expatriates. So they are alone here without their families, and there is always this kind of problem. So the operation manager on the ground has to play a major role to be very close to them and try to empathize with them, understand what's the situation. So these kind of things is really playing to our favor, and because they know at certain point of time you can be in a very bad environment, for example, and getting money. So also this is bad.
With your experience and the capital available, why build your own brands? Why not be the carrier of most successful brands in the world and use your advantage in the region to
Very, very good question. Actually, we experienced both options at Element. So what we did, we had Derwendi, we created the brand as it is, and we were tempted by the idea of being the owner of a franchise and just growing this franchise across the world and having multiple tasks. And so we were tempted with this, and we went into this option with Derwendi. We created the brand, we own it, we registered the franchise in UK, and now it's registered worldwide. And at the same time, we got the franchise from France, from Paris, and Dimanche à Paris. It's a totally different approach and model, actually. When it comes to franchising, at the beginning, you don't put much effort. And maybe you can make more profit. When you have your own brand, you have to put a lot of effort at the beginning, lose at the beginning, but in the long term, definitely you make much more money than handling or getting or being carrier of a big brand. So this is one. Don't forget one thing also. If you are the master franchisee of a bigger brand, you sign a contract for what, 5 years, 10 years? So you have a huge risk after 10 years to just not to renew the contract. This is one. Two, some franchises, they are not willing to adapt to the market or make the right changes to make you successful. So maybe this brand is very successful in UK or US or France, but not necessarily to be successful in UAE, because it has different taste, different culture. So it's not always like being big, outside that give you success here in Dubai or UAE or wherever you are going. So each one has its pros and cons, actually.
Yeah, no, I see so many American brands that are infiltrating the market and across Middle East, right? I mean, in fact, recently there's a new brand in the US, fairly new, 6 years old brand, kind of started franchising 2 years back for the first time, and I saw one of their branch here.
What's the name?
Dave's Hot Chicken.
Yeah, Dave's Hot Chicken recently came, but
Yeah, so Dave's Hot
It's
Chicken.
difficult. It's difficult.
No, I'm sure. I'm sure it's going to be difficult. I'm just surprised that they're here because, I can clearly see that they don't have a recall yet, right? Because the brand is very, very fresh in the US. But
The owner of Davis Chicken, actually, they experience the same what we experience. So they have Barbar, which is franchised from Lebanon, which is doing much better than Davis Chicken. They have Joe and the Juice, also is doing
Joe the
very.
Juicer.
Yeah, Joe and the Juice.
Oh,
So it's the same company. They have Barbar, they have Joe and the Juice, and they have Davis Chicken.
I think they have Five Guys as well, right?
No,
No?
not for them. So this is the group that have these businesses. But
No, but I think the point I was making was that, when I saw Dave's Chicken here, like my actual point is, when I saw Dave's Chicken here, my immediate reaction was that, hey, wow, this is a brand which started franchising in the US in 2021.
wow.
You know the legendary story? Dave's Hot Chicken started in 2017 in a parking lot. 2017.
Wow.
Literally by three guys in a parking lot. And in 2020, it got private equity investment. It got this group. In Jan of 21, they had 2 stores. In November of 23, they have 172. And what surprised me was that stat itself was quite crazy for the US. Finding it here just blew my head because I was like, guys, you're not done with US yet. Like, this is amazing. The point I'm making is that when I saw that, I was like, wow, if this is how it felt like this is how it should be. Though I know, having said that the journey, whoever brought Dave's here, the journey for them is long. I'm sure they're taking a really, really long bet on this because they're not going to make money easily. There's no recall. But isn't this something which isn't this like investing in McDonald's of tomorrow or KFC of tomorrow?
And for me, I don't think Davis Hot Chicken, they did a right step in franchising that fast and that early. Because if you see what's happening here, because you need to build on the brand awareness of the brand itself before franchising. Because if you franchise and it's not successful, then the impact is very bad.
Sure.
On growing the business outside. And maybe this is what we're seeing. For example, take Joe and the Juice. Joe and the Juice, they started in 2010.
Correct.
They franchised here, last year, 2 years back? But
I didn't know they were here.
But see how successful they are here. They took their time. They built the brand awareness. They had now its brand equity. So when they came here, everybody just ran to see Joe and the Juice and eat there. They didn't have to do any marketing, for example.
But I think I disagree there a little. I'll tell you.
This is where you see the difference between two brands coming from outside.
But I think Joe the Juice, I think the kind of community building they did globally on the internet and how they took it deep during COVID is, I believe, the resultant success of Joe the Juice everywhere in the world is probably that.
Perhaps. I mean, when I come to marketing, when I say marketing expenses, here what they did. Here they didn't spend much marketing, or they did much marketing activities. So the brand by itself is attracting people.
Saer, what kind of leader are you? And how has it changed over last 20 years of your work?
Because as I told you, I used to work on the advisory part or the mentorship part, and then jump to the operation. So this teach me one lesson, that to understand better people, and this is one. 2, delegating tasks, that's very important, but then not go and micromanage. So just you have to trust people. You have to trust their judgment. Definitely you will watch and verify and check. So this is how I manage the business. This is 1. 2, when I want to assign or ask tasks from people, I have to make sure that they have at this level of responsibility or at this level of they are able to do it. and then go and ask for accountability. So this is very important. And because now I'm more into operations, so it's very important to understand the whole, if you want, the whole spectrum of the operation. So will give more respect and trust for your employees, because they know that you know everything. So this kind of cooperation, it will be more smooth, and they will ask you and you will ask them the right things that need to be asked.
Do you agree with, or like, what's your opinion on people complaining about micromanagement?
I totally agree with them, because micromanaging people is simply having whatever potential these people they have locked. You are not getting the benefit out of it. You're not using them, actually. So if you want to bring somebody and you micromanaging, that means you're forcing all your decisions, your inputs, whatever. So you're not leaving him for any out of the box thinking. You're not leaving any innovation to come with it. He just at some point of them surrender and just waiting for your direction to do it, which you don't want.
But in a repeatable operation process, you really don't want people to think out of the box. I mean, it takes enough effort to just keep them in the box.
Believe me, when it comes to operation, no, you will always need them, because things are not always smooth, and that is not always like there is no variables. I'm telling you, just imagine, go to the smallest thing, a waiter, a cook, a commie, and these things. So definitely, every day is not like the other, and definitely there will be always some challenges facing them. I don't know, a customer that is difficult to convince, a customer that he thought something but is different. So definitely things are not always the same. I don't think there is something repetitive, unless you are in a factory, but we're not. So I don't know, the cooking line, for example. You will have always some problems. You'll have always some things that happens. And
how do you empower them to think out of the box? Like, what's your way of telling them that, hey, if you think out of the box and do something, and it can bomb, but I'm with you. What's your way of communicating that to your team?
No, how things it's done when we say out of the box is that to be, and to give them the courage, or to give them the delegation to take action. Because at this type of operation, if they want to go back and you want to micromanage, that's impossible. You cannot do it all. You are not there all the time. So we help them through training. We help them through we give them scenario analysis, that if something will happen, this will happen. So you try to help them with these different scenarios that could happen, that give them the solution for it. So mainly this is how it is. But and I believe micromanagement it hurts the business, doesn't help at all. It definitely hurts.
As a leader today, what has changed? Can you cite 2 changes that have happened to you, that you felt, evolved inside you over last decade?
A lot of changes changed. So first, your perspective to people. So how I see people, how...
Give me an anecdote on how you used to think and what is not true today.
Actually, the way of how you manage people, this is how it is changed. So now I'm more strong believer of delegating, of giving the chance to people, of putting them under responsibility. They can show you, or that they can give you more than what they are supposed to give. So it takes me a lot of time to believe that employees usually have the capabilities of doing these kind of things, but you need to give them the chance and give them the right tools. So this is take me quite a bit of time to.
So you mean earlier you were...
No, earlier, I was more hands-on. I call it hands-on, so I will not say it micromanaging. So I used to be more hands-on, following up more, not leave, trying to be, because I'm a bit skeptical, so trying to not leave any room for mistakes. And I have to do this, so you will not leave us. Unfortunately, I discovered that it hurts somewhere. So this took quite a good time to start moving to this kind of leadership that we are now. That delegating people, give them the right training and tools, and leave them. Just give them the chance to show what they have. And anyway, everybody do mistakes.
Yeah,
As long
sure.
as it is controllable, and as long as you are mitigating your risk, it's fine. So this is a major change happened to me in the way of management.
What's been your experience with, like, what's your relationship to technology in your business in general? Like how you perceive it's important, world knows that, but how
It's
do you
not
perceive?
an option anymore. You like it, you don't like it, you are
But
forced to.
on what side are you? I know it's a
No,
necessary one now, but how
today
you're,
you cannot. We all know that technology is a major part of any industry.
but are you reactive or are you a proactive leader on tech? How do you look at tech?
To be frank with you, now no, we are very active on this part. At least in the last, after COVID, we became very active. Maybe before we were a bit proactive, to be frank with you, but after COVID, we became very active. Especially now with the artificial intelligence that is coming, we're trying to get and benefit from it as much as we can. The issues of delivery also, when it came to the picture, especially in one of our brands, which is JJ Chicken, so forced us also to be very active when it comes to technology, because now you don't interact directly with your customer. It's also mainly through delivery. So you need to have all the right tools to help you understand and serve your customers better. So technology is is a major part of the business.
Where do you wanna see this? What will you think? What do you think is going to be the success of, let's say, JJ Chicken and all the brands that you're using? Like, what's your next? How do you look at that
So
success?
we have a very promising and aggressive expansion plan for the brands, especially JJ Chicken and Derwendi. So we hired a special company in UK to do the studies for us for UK to expand there, and it was very promising. And this is our next. So we have 3 markets that we really were eager to expand there for JJ, which is Saudi Arabia, UK, and India. And for Derwendi, Saudi Arabia and UK. We did a lot of studies. We did a lot of.
Are you in Saudi Arabia already or not?
No,
Not yet.
going soon for both brands. So we're on the final stage. So I would be very excited and happy if I can see these 2 brands in these 3 countries, because these 3 countries specifically, they have huge potential. Each for a different reason. And
It's a very interesting mix, huh? India, UK, and Saudi Arabia.
yes,
These are like
JJ
3
Chicken,
different types of worlds.
Exactly. JJ Chicken for Saudi Arabia, because JJ. So why Saudi Arabia for JJ Chicken? Because they are the #1 consumer of chicken in the world, and we are talking per capita. So this is one. Why UK? Because if you go to UK and you see the fast casual restaurants, you have burgers, pizzas, fish and chips, and that's it. UK is #1 maybe in the world when it comes to casual and fine dining restaurants. When you come to fast food and fast casual, you don't have much. There is not much competitors also in UK. So we had this study, I called you, we have it. And why India? Because it's a very big market. It is dissected. We did the study. We dissected India into 12 districts. Some people, they don't eat chicken. Some people are vegetarian, but still you will have at least a market of 200 to 300 million that eat chicken.
India is a large chicken eating population for sure.
Yeah, so exactly. So
India is not a meat eating country as much. I mean,
No.
not across the population. Of course, there are sectors
So
in India.
we did a lot of study with Franchise India and Frank Global India. They know very well the market.
Yeah.
They took few brands from here and they did very well there. So we also are very optimistic about it. So that's why each country has different reason why we want to expand. Derwendi definitely, because it fits Saudi Arabia and it fits UK. It doesn't fit India, so we're not looking at that. So I will be happy to see these 2 brands there. We're putting a lot of efforts actually, and hopefully 2024 will be the title of 2024 is going out. That's for sure.
Awesome. That was a great conversation, Saer.
No, thank you, thank
That
you.
was quite a view into your life at Almed and also in your mind. Congratulations on the success so far, and I really wish you all the best for the year of going out.
Thanks again.
Thank you.
And it was really a pleasure to have this discussion with you. All the best. Thank you.
Thank you.